Welcome to this mindset video called You versus You. So, the essentials of this video are really just you versus you. We'll be talking about your downside as well as your upside. And basically, we just want to get you to adopt the mental model of this constant battle of just becoming better. Because at the end of the day, progress, entrepreneurship, life, happiness, success, and fulfillment are just progress. We as humans are put on this earth to make progress. We weren't put on this earth to lay on the couch. It actually gives us more fulfillment to do stuff than to just sit at the end of the couch and do nothing. Even though it's a lot harder to do something, it brings us more fulfillment. So, what we'll be talking about today is your upsides and downsides, and I promise you one thing. This video is the most profitable thing that you will ever watch. And yes, I didn't misspell it or say it incorrectly. Profitable. Like, it has nothing. This video, it has nothing to do with business tactics, fancy content tips, or client acquisition, service delivery, paid ads, or whatever it is. But this video will make you more money than any other training. Have you ever heard the saying, life is like a roller coaster? It has ups and downs. I hope you have heard it before. We say it a lot in Denmark. I translated it into English. It's like, life goes up, life goes down. That is just how the entire world works. Our mind works because there are these opposites. There has to be a good thing and a bad thing. There have to be these things that we can measure things against. The only way that we can measure a person and believe that a person is successful, the only way that can happen is because there is a person that isn't successful, a person that has failed, right? And in order for there to be growth, there has to be decline. In order for you to be happy, you have to be sad. Sometimes, in order for you to feel rich, you would have to have felt poor, right? So there are all of these opposites, and I like to call them upsides and downsides. That's what we'll be talking about today. And if there's one thing that I've learned from running my business, it is that life and business and everything that you do is a lot more about managing your downside than managing the upside. And the key here is your downside. You can't control what's going on in the world. The financial crisis is the environmental state, World War III, or other major things. You can't control these things. The only thing that you can control in life is how you react to certain situations. And how you react to certain situations is your paradigm, right? We do not see the world for what the world is. We see the world and the situations and the things that we come across for who we are and based on who we are and how we react to these situations. That will be our actions and how we cope or control these external factors. So the key here is you versus you. All right, so this video will focus on your personal up and down sites. And just like the title says, it is you versus you. You are your biggest strength, but you're also your biggest enemy. One side of you will build everything up, work towards your goals and dreams, and the other side will tear it all down and make you feel miserable. And it's always the things that make you fall that are more important to fix and remove, instead of focusing on the things that make you do well. So pay attention to these things that break your life down. Pay attention to these bad habits and actions and watch out for them. It's very important. I did this one training today, and I'll teach you to do the same on how to spot the bad things. I'll teach you how to deal with them, and I will show you how to remove them and raise your standards as a business owner and as a person. And right now, if you're thinking to yourself, I just want to get out of this mindset, I just want to move on. If that sounds like you right now in this video, we will change your life because you want to make money. You want to learn business strategy because that is the thing that you think will make you happy and successful. This video will make you more successful than any amount of money. This video takes inspiration from the Batman movies. So the overview for this video is confronting the Joker. By this title, we will focus on your two sides, Batman versus the Joker. And we will use this as the analogy and talk about all the suffering, facing the pain, and my 5 rules for life. So, facing the Joker, you're probably thinking, what do you mean? But hey, there is some sort of saying to this, and it's all on purpose. I may have paid attention without the mental model. I try to explain these things that I have inside of my head through things that all of us know, and most of us know Batman and the Joker, right? So that's what I'll be explaining this through the hero and the villain, the constructive and the destructive, the good and the evil, the Batman and the Joker. Batman is, of course, the good. Joker's bad. And that is basically just your life, right? It's a constant battle between these two voices in your head. Batman wants you to build that business, live your dream life, and reach your goals. And the Joker who wants to tear everything down so that you don't evolve and progress, right? And I'm sure you can recognize this. One day, you feel more motivated than ever, and you get a lot of stuff done. The next day, you can't get anything done. That is what we're here to fix. So we need to confront the Joker, because why is it that we build things up and break them down again? Why does our mind do that to us, right? You have to realize that in life, you have to master two things: the subject. So the thing is, the vehicle that will get you towards your goal, and then your mind. So a professional football player, for example, mastered the sport of football, and his mind. He could be the best football player in the world. But if he didn't have the mental capacity to play in a stadium in front of 80,000 people and perform when everyone screamed your name, then it doesn't matter that you're good at football, because then your mind wouldn't allow you to do the things. To your credit, a rich businessman has mastered the art of business and his mind, right? Because what separates the best from the good is how they act and handle things when they go bad. And that is where the mind comes in. When everything is tough, when you're behind 2 zeros in football, when your business is declining, when you have to fire people, when you're losing money. This is where great people, that top 0.01%, are separated from the rest of us. Everyone faces this when starting out, especially entrepreneurs, right? And I hope that you can maybe see these patterns by now. Building something, breaking it all down. Building something, breaking it all down. It's like you're at war with yourself. There is the Batman versus the Joker, right? There are two versions. There's one which, by its nature, the Batman built you up to a point where you're behaving, probably acting on what needs to be done, doing the to-do list, finishing the work, doing all that good stuff, right? And then there's the Joker side of you, who destroys all the progress that you've ever made and throws you back to square one, and you realize that you just almost end up being the average version of these two. You're not Batman, you're not the Joker. You're somewhere in the middle, not just in your business, but in every aspect of your life. So there you peak perform. Right up here, you're at the peak performance. Everything is going well. And then suddenly you break it down. Then you've reached this lowest standard where it's like, there's no way, I need to get my shit together. And then Batman comes in again, right? Peak performance. And then you get comfortable, you relax. Things are going so well, and then decline, decline, decline. Say yes to going to a party with your friends, and then shit. I'm never getting hungover again. I need to run this business. And then up you go, right? And these levels are almost always the same. You will hit a certain level of highs and lows. It is like there is a light switch inside of you that will flick when you reach a point. Your Batman is equally matched to your Joker, and they will form your existence, where you will float in the middle of these two voices. The high point and the low point will give you a sum average of life. You will have like a personal ceiling and a personal flaw, which is just a worst and best example of yourself, which you can accept, right? So you will try to hit the peak performance ceiling, and the Joker will come in and you will reach the lowest standard you can accept. You'll get filled with so much motivation, and you start to build up. Then the Joker will come in and break it all down, and it will turn into the average you, the most average between the Joker and Batman, especially because it will happen everywhere in your life. You will say, I need to get my shit together, and that will keep going. And then you would again just end up where you are now, your average looking physique, right? It happened everywhere. For example, when you are hungover, your apartment would also look like shit. Then you will have shitty finances and you will be in bad shape. But when you are in your peak mental state, you will have a clean office, a clean apartment, great finances, and be in awesome shape. Most people go through this, and after going through these ups and downs patterns enough, they in the end just accept it, just living an average life, where it over and over again goes through this. So you have to lock in now, this time with a more holistic view of yourself and your business. In life, it doesn't matter what you gain. It matters what you keep. This goes for everything, not just money. It's all about protecting yourself from your downside, because the upside is easy. Remember to use pain as a compass, as we talked about. for navigating life and making decisions. Not pain as you know it, but evolving pain. Pain that makes you better. Facing the pain is the key takeaway here. Otherwise, you will be living in denial. Living in denial is when you don't take responsibility for your own actions, and you fool yourself by thinking that you can act irresponsibly and not face the consequences. Living in denial is when you refuse to face the pain. You refuse the joker. Denial is really just you doing something that you know isn't good for you. And then you get surprised by the negative consequences. For example, I would go to drink and I would be surprised by the fact that I got hungover, right? And you do it either way. Even though deep inside you know the outcome of what you're doing, you're fooling yourself to do it. But you have to face the truth front on. You have to stop lying to yourself and face the truth. Not lying to yourself is when you stop running away from pain and problems in your life by avoiding the problems, distracting yourself so that you don't have to think about the problems or pushing the problems into the future. Because when you face the truth, you take full responsibility for your actions and know this is very important. You must know that the things you get in life are a mirrored image of what you put in, and the only thing that you can't cheat in this world is a mirror. So before facing the truth, all of these cycles and patterns repeat themselves, right? So you have to face two foils. You're just going to be the average of these two sides. So let's say you have an amazing positive side. Well, you're really good at making money. But then you have a dark, negative personal side where you spend all your money, you have a spending addiction. Then the positive side is useless because it doesn't matter how much money you make because you'll keep spending it no matter what. And remember that in life, it only matters what you keep. So it's cool that you're making 20K per month, but if you're spending 15K on stupid stuff, then you're only making 5K profit. Then you'll never retire. You'll never be financially free, right? And it's not just money. It's also fitness, relationships, sleep, and your mental state of mind. In the end, it doesn't matter what you make. It matters what you keep. So what you can do is play the Uno reverse card here. So understand that you do not become the best version of yourself that you can imagine. You do not become your highest standard. You do not become your dream. You do not sustain that dream self, or in other words, you will never have that godlike self-image, at least not for long. What you do become is your standard. You become the lowest version of yourself that you can tolerate. Therefore, we don't want to set a goal for our behavior or self-image. We want to set a standard for ourselves. And a standard in your life is something you simply don't break or breach. It could be like brushing your teeth before bed. That's an absolute standard. You do it without thinking of it. You don't celebrate brushing your teeth. You just do it right, and you have standards. Right now, you have standards for all areas in your life. You have a certain amount of money in your account, where whenever your account goes below that number, you get scared, right? You also paid for your time. There, you will reach a certain point of the day where you're like, okay, I can't draw my bedtime any longer. I gotta go to bed. You'll have it for your diet as well, for your sleep, for your fitness. You'll have these standards that you might not be conscious of, but subconsciously you have all these standards. And we as humans can't behave in ways that break our own personal standards. That is impossible for human beings. In other words, we don't progress and evolve into our golden selves. We're the worst self that is acceptable. We get what we can accept, not what we want. So the key then is to set a new standard so that the version of yourself you want to be is actually the worst version of you that you can possibly tolerate. This is the secret. Make your current best your new worst, right? So even though you hit your goals, try not to celebrate. So let's say that you hit $10,000 a month. You shouldn't celebrate. It should just become your new standard. I'll never go lower. That's the lowest I can tolerate. That should be a new standard, right? So don't use your goals to escape pain. Use your goals to create pain. Very important. So what can you learn from reversing the flaw? What kind of methods, mental models, and rules can you stick to flipping the floor and follow this trajectory that I want you to follow? How do you keep being in a state of mind where you are motivated to terminate? You're focused. You're not at 10 out of 10 in pain because that would be horrible to live in. But you still have this pain of wanting to do better. How do you do so? Let's move on to the 5 rules for life. These are my 5 rules for life that I live by. For every action, there's an opposite. An equal reaction is Isaac Newton's third law. We've talked about this, right? We took action to get up here, right? And the reaction was us ending up here. Then we took some bad actions that led us to be here. So it is just so important to say that everything in life is just cause and effect and action, and then every action, right? And people react and behave and act like it doesn't apply to them. They act like they don't get hungover from going out. Oh, maybe I won't get hungover. Maybe I won't get tired. Remember living in denial. They also blame other people and think that it's out of their control, when in reality, everything is just cause and effect. And the only way to get success is by serving it, by bringing value. Then we have the mirror. Very important. Your fears and judgments in life are only an outward reflection of how you think and behave. If you judge other people, you will never be able to do anything special in your life due to your own fear of being judged. When people get offended and label other people, these people who label others and judge others, they all struggle with the same thing. They really, really do. Never judge other people. Don't be nervous. Don't be jealous. Don't judge other people because it's just a straight up reflection, a mirror of who we are as a person. So if you judge someone for working hard, right? Like this guy, man, he doesn't take the days off. He's so stupid he will burn out. It's because if you struggle but you can't work hard, for example, right? So be so careful with judging other people. This was something many struggled with. An example could be I would go walk on the street and I would look at a person and I would judge them like, why do they look? What should I do? They have such weird hair. What are they wearing? It will be because of insecurities. Just stop judging other people. Because it doesn't matter if it's just inside of your head or the thoughts that you have. It's just as powerful as speaking it out loud. So don't judge other people. Remember from one of the first videos that people see the world for who they are, not for what the world is. And based on their upbringing, they react and they behave and they believe based on what they tend to be true. And they act based on their traumas, their experience, their paradigm. So we don't know what people have been through. We don't know why people are different from us. We don't know why they have other opinions. But that's just how it is. So don't judge people. Don't judge others. It's so important, and it's so important that this thing cannot be cheated. You can't cheat the mirror. So if you do not invest in yourself, others won't invest in you. How can you expect other people to send you thousands of dollars if you don't invest in yourself? It's so important, and you now have a huge advantage, right? Number 3, people don't have business problems. They have life problems that reflect in their business. A lot of people will complain about not making enough money. It's an unhealthy business with low profit margins. It's not growing. And then they look at tactics and spreadsheets. They believe that they can go into the business side of things and fix the problem. But you can't. It's a life problem, right? If somebody isn't committed, well, then there will be no results, and commitment will also be showing up in other areas of their life. They will have a messy house, a messy business, an unhealthy body, and an unhealthy business. These unresolved issues in your personal life will leave you paralyzed in your business, unable to do anything because of these personal issues that you have going on with family, relationships, friends, or whatever it can be. All of these issues will occupy your brain. So all of these people try to solve business problems with pure business tactics. And the only thing that they believe will work right is business tactics. But no amount of business tactics will solve the personal issue appearing in your business. The only way to solve the problem is to solve it in your personal life, and it will disappear from your business. So always look at your personal life when you've got a business problem. It's so important. Number 4, how you do one thing is how you do everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I can't say it enough. There's an action and reaction, cause and effect. The pattern of somebody's existence in one thing, big or small, doesn't matter, will be present in their existence in everything else, right? The way somebody does one thing is how they do literally everything. If someone is late to a meeting, they are late to every dinner appointment, every gym, workout, whatever it is, they are just a late person. If somebody isn't committed to their business, well, that commitment will be showing up everywhere else in their life. They won't go to bed on time. They will wake up late. They will hit the snooze. They will have a bad relationship because they're not committed. If somebody is unhealthy, every other area of their life will be unhealthy too. If they have unhealthy numbers in their business, they'll probably also be an unhealthy person, right? But you're not stuck with any of these things. You can change everything upside down. You can change everything 180 degrees. You can flip everything around. So don't feel bad about your problems. So, the situation. We are here to fix them so that you can do better. You just have to understand that you can't keep doing the same things and expect new outcomes. So, do your best to commit to excellence in every area of life. If you want to be a winner, you must commit to excellence in every facet of your existence. A healthy mind and body is a healthy life and business. So, sleep well, eat well, and drink tons of water. Have a clean workspace, a clear head, and a clear business. Look good, dress nice. Take care of yourself because a lot of people assume they work from home. So they show up in sweatpants and t-shirts that they slept in and they don't do their hair. How do you expect to act out of excellence? Right, so if you take this seriously, your business and life will explode. I've said it before, 80% of business success is the way you see the world. Your mind's last 20% is tactics and standards. And then the key takeaway from this video is that we become our lowest standards, not our highest dreams, right? To summarize this training, we rarely become the person we dream of. It's more about managing the downside rather than the upside. We have become these standards right now, and these standards are what define us. Understand that you'll do nothing to achieve your dreams, but you will fight like hell to not breach your standards. As humans, we will do more to not lose something than to gain it. So, if you want to achieve your dreams and goals, you must turn these dreams and goals into your irrefutable standards. Don't make it so hard on yourself. All the suffering, fear, failures, and sadness were caused by your ignoring the consequences of your own actions. Don't live in denial. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't pretend that cause and effect and reaction did not apply to you. And then, don't blame others for your problems. So, what does it really mean to face the Joker? Now that we've been through this entire video about facing your Joker side, you have a dark side. Your downside is when you stop running away from your problems and fears and you go face it. Most people don't look the Joker straight in the eye. And the moment you confront the dark side, your addiction, your problems, your life problems, your procrastination, it fades away and it becomes nothing at all. And understand that a breach in one area of your life will become a breach in every area of your life. And the only thing that has happened with you being a business owner, it's that it's like taking a magnifying glass, holding it over the problem, and then it just made the problem 10 times bigger. So if you're unhealthy, fix it. Then you'll have a healthy business. Be on time, look good, dress good, feel good. Do the right things. You must understand every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and all that exists in the universe is cause and effect. You do something and then you get the reward or the consequence from it. There is no such thing as chance or luck. You can't cheat the mirror. Believe me, you get smashed if you try to cheat a mirror because this happened and now you're probably scared. But this is amazing news because if you use it properly, you can use the mirror to get everything you want in life. That is the law. Face the truth and have everything you ever wanted. This isn't a business tactic. Instead, it's the most profitable thing that you can possibly do. And that is it. That is how you face the Joker. That is all of the slides that we went through. At the end, I just want to say thank you so much for following along and watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.